Welcome back, everyone. We are kicking it off with week 3 of the ECAC's Marvel Rival stream. I am Inferno, joined by my fellow caster Althea and our observer Beldia. Now, Althea, we have some familiar faces tonight. Tell us what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so right here on the top here, we see OSUBGC, or Ohio State University Buckeye Gaming Collective. We saw them week 1 go 3-0 versus Fuel Esports at Fanshawe. Did a phenomenal performance there. I'm really excited to see some more plays and see what they can perform this week. Today, though, they're going to be facing off against Penn State Behrend, Behrend Blue. So I'm unfamiliar with this team. I don't think we've seen too much of them, but excited to see what they can bring to the table. Both these teams lost their last week's match, so they're here looking for an up in the match tonight.
Certainly are. And as we kick off this pick and ban phase, we have the Winter Soldier and the Hela coming out from Behrend Blue. And we have so far the Star-Lord band from OSU. Pretty typical bands that we've seen so far throughout this throughout the season so far. The saves, however, we have seen that Emma get banned a couple times. Now it is going to be saved, enabled in this game. What do you think that's going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to force the game into a more brawl-oriented format. Maybe try and open the door for a lot more flying-type heroes with that Hela out of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if a team wants to lean into that. They either keep that Phoenix or right there the Punisher. They know what that's going to be opening the game up to. They want to leave that hit scan open as the counter need be. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, we're looking at the Jeff ban. Maybe to prevent that Storm team-up that we were maybe looking at. Maybe it's a target ban towards Emolga. I mean, we could see them hovering it there.
Certainly could. I'm not too sure. Jeff hasn't been quite the menace in my games, but apparently OSU does not want any of it.
If I'm remembering back, didn't OSU run a Jeff, I think, on their second or third map in that first week, and I think it went pretty well for them. Maybe it was just a joke pick or not, but regardless, we're seeing this Captain America pick, and that's definitely not going to be a joke pick here. Master H3 picking that with the intention of running it. Magneto ban as well. That's a common strong center tank, and dividing that team up with the Emma and the Magneto is definitely a good move.
Certainly is. Now we're getting into these picks here. We're seeing Behrend Blue run that Emma, the Captain America that they saved, the 2 tanks going to be selected right off the bat, the Punisher, and then we have that triple support comp that I've come to be very fond of. I really do like this comp. The damage that Ultron is able to dish out, it really doesn't feel like it's too impactful from a 2-2-2 composition. Plus, you get the heals that Ultron brings to the table as well. So I think Behrend Blue is starting off with a very strong team comp here.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to that Ultron, I really just compare it to just a second DPS that you just kind of have in the pocket. His healing is entirely passive. You just throw it on somebody and let it go. Papa, I believe, his second ability every once in a while to increase its strength. But, I mean, other than that, he's the equivalent of a storm in the air, just aiming down, and that's what the man 88 on that Punisher is going to be important for. Another important pick I want to point out is Farthia on this Wolverine. They see that Captain America save with the Emma save. They know they're going to be running that, and that Wolverine is going to be the #1 counter, so it's good to see Buckeye Gaming here pick that early on.
That is true, but if GWT is able to get proactive and counteract those dashes, we could see Farley fall soon. But there we've got OSU taking the upper hand, getting that early pick on a GWT. Emma down. You are down a tank now for Behrend. You might just want to back up, save your members, don't feed too much ult charge, and just get this quick regroup.
Yeah, I think the difference with the Wolverine there is just the damage on the point is going to allow your team to take so much more space so much quicker. I believe we saw the man get set up in a turret way sooner. That just cleared them open the point. Now from here, they are in control, and they're going to be doing what they can to just hold this choke, using this double shield combo, blocking as much of this damage, preventing as much ult charge as possible, and just getting ready to hold this brawl. Beautiful, I think, dive from Farthy onto the tank. That's 2 picks onto both of them. That's going to force Behrend back.
Certainly is. I mean, we're watching this Wolverine go to work right now. And, you know, I was just buttering up that triple support composition. It definitely can and does work. I just think OSU has this too forward of a position now that you are going to want to opt for a little bit more damage in your team comp. Right now, we see the Ultron getting to work with this Rage of Ultron, pushing through the door. Behrend Blue now back up to the point, has a few more ultimates to get it cracking off if they want to. Right now, OSU just going to fall a little back, pop some ults, and keep everyone up and alive.
Yeah, beautiful ults going out now. Both support ults from both sides. Amoga's ult running out right now. Haza still has this Luna, keeping the team up. As soon as that drops, we're going to see Emma's ultimate as well. 4 ultimates from BGC, make that 5. Seduction finds the whole team. Blanket's using this to keep them up, and I don't see a single member of OSU fall in between this. And honestly, I'd be a little scared if it wasn't for the fact that Behrend committed almost everything to get on the point to begin with. I was going to say, wow, OSU is a very large commitment, but I mean, there's not too much overcommitting with 90% left and Behrend nothing to answer with other than this possible contest from Master, which isn't even going to come out.
Yeah, we'll get the timer to go into that overtime, but no one else is even close from the side of Behrend. They won't be able to get that touch off. And that will be OSU with a very commanding lead on this first round.
Yeah, very beautiful. I think right there that Wolverine was just putting too much pressure on the tanks. The Captain America, I just don't think it's going to be able to work in a comp like this. I think what Captain America's job serves is just being that distraction in the backline, keeping that contest. You know, if you're able to hold that first fight a while, if you have that capture on the objective, and then you have the Captain America to just contest it and just stall and get those points, that's getting value. Right here, we just couldn't see that from the Captain America. It felt like it was just feeding ult charge, going in, taking damage, and not really getting the distraction in the backline. OSU is very a well put together team. They work together well. They're gonna be able to make the calls they need to protect their supports or know who's turning the head to take care of it. And I think that's why we're gonna see it distract a little. But I think we're going to see Behrend leaning more into this dive comp, going with this magic, maybe to just help assist that a little more. And I think that's good because that's going to free up a little bit of the front line more to allow GWT a little more freedom to cause some disrupt. But we'll have to see how it goes.
We will have to see as this first point is about to unlock. We've made some swaps for both teams now. Farthy going for this Iron Fist. We're seeing Behrend Blue and Molga now bringing out the magic. We don't see too much magic play, and that might be why Emma with the grab and the man able to finish off that kill. We see Battle Knight with that Rage of Ultron on the point, trying to do what they can for their team, but it just seems so insignificant when OSU just has another ult to pop right after it. Freedom Charge now from Mr. on the point. Gets choke slammed by Emma yet again. Just losing a bit of mobility. No worries of dying in this ultimate. But you gotta worry about your team a little bit here as they start to get walked on. But Behrend Blue looking to find these picks and get on this point.
Yeah, picks are going both way, but it turns out in Behrend's favor as they are able to get this cap, and I think that magic pick is looking pretty good. I think with Farthy on this Iron Fist, it's definitely taking the pressure off of GWT even more, and I think just having that frontline pressure, disrupting the main tanks, is definitely what is causing OSU a bit of an issue here. The team feels slightly separated, but I think I trust in their ability to recognize this and adapt their playstyle to it. Right now we're looking at this ultimate fight now, coming out soon. It's going to be popped first.
There we see it. Farthy with the living chi now just going to serve up some punches, delivering the blows to the back line there. No kills came through afterwards. Meaty Loferson and Soap able to pick up one of each. That's 2 down for Behrend Blue right now. As they commit the Psionic Seduction and the Rage of Ultra onto this, they're not looking to give up this point just yet. At 50% and climbing, at least trying to stall it out, do as much as they can. The picks will come through for OSU, and they will swing this point back.
Yeah, I mean, right there at the end, we see Master doing what they do best on the Captain America, like I talked about, just being on that point, contesting it as long as possible after the fight's over. But 60% is not bad for a first thing. We saw OSU having to commit 3, I think 4 ults. Soap just used it at the very beginning of that. But we do see Emolga swapping over from Magic to this Storm, and I think that's going to be a really good pick, as long as they can keep the man a little bit distracted. Once they push through into this more open point, that Storm is going to have a pretty good free farm up in the sky. Really just leaning into that idea of dividing OSU's attention as much as possible.
Committed to it now on the point, starting to get people through the door. We're seeing Haza ult, a Soap as well, the support ult to cancel out. Meaty Loferson able to pick up the first blow of the fight here. 2 more fall for the side of OSU, and that will be Behrend Blue back to spawn. Left thinking what they could have done differently.
Yeah, I mean, it may not have been the majority of the damage, but we do see OSU's supports are the ones picking up these final blows. That's a beautiful stagger onto Fishy as well. But yeah, right now, points looking fairly even as it flips back in OSU's favor. They're continue to hold it at least. And I mean, right now we're just looking for this good use of ultimates. Behrend is almost to this 5 count. Compared to OSU, only at these 3, they're going to need a really good use of the Eye of Agamotto here. Beautiful shielding of that seduction. Storm ultimate comes out, finds nothing as it gets shredded. Eye of Agamotto as well finds one, but gets kept alive by both of the support ultimates from Behrend.
Yeah, this seemed like it was just outplay after outplay for OSU. We started it off with Mr. H3 on the cap getting his ultimate canceled. The Psionic Seduction getting blocked, and it just seems to be going so wrong for Behrend Blue right now. Soap with yet another Eternal Bond on this Cloak and Dagger, painting the field, and Behrend Blue is just unable to stay alive from this. It will be pushed back all the way to spawn, and that will be OSU taking a clean 2-0 victory on Hell's Haven there.
Yeah, map 1 looking heavily in OSU's favor here. Behrend, I mean, they started to get their ground, and we see this typically. Teams are able to make these swaps, and that's something I did like seeing from Behrend. We see some teams go the entire first map without making any swaps, but we saw them looking for those answers. We saw them make the swap to the Storm, the Magic, stuff like that. But I think OSU just kind of saw it coming and switched back. The Iron Fist, they really are doubling down on that dive. And we've seen this type of strategy before, where you have some dive in the team and then a frontline pressure with the dive to kind of keep it solidified, and then 1 DPS, maybe a support as well, just in the back that can just free farm. And that's the role of the man. We can see that on the most damage. That is playing into a Captain America and an Emma, though, but still, most damage, most kills. The man is the damage on the team. On the side of Behrend, though, they were playing for that dive. They were playing for the aggression, not really having that kind of backline pressure there. They had Emolga on that Winter Soldier, or sorry, the Punisher for just a little while, but it just wasn't really working out because the frontline tank pressure wasn't there. The Captain America falling too easily, same with the Emma. So I think Behrend needs to try and swap, maybe running a third more anchored support, maybe running just a second DPS. If you're gonna lean into the damage, really lean into it. But yeah, I think it's gonna come down to the picks and bans and how they want to try and shut OSU down after that first map.
Yeah, and to touch on what you were saying with Behrend Blue's comp, you know, the triple support, like we were saying, it definitely can work. But if you are opting to run the Captain America, who doesn't have quite as much damage as some of the other tanks, and really just as some of the other characters in the game, if you're going to lean into that kind of tank play style, you probably would want a second DPS, just because Captain America himself is already good at survivability, lasting a long time in these team fights. You might not need the triple support for the team then, and instead that's when you might favor that second DPS there. But we will have to see what Baron Blue decides to go for into this next pick and ban phase, as we will be getting there in just a minute.
I mean, exactly like you said, having that triple support and your tanks are still getting shredded that much, it's not really a matter of, oh, just out heal it, because OSU isn't really having much dying, and that's something that's gonna make it harder for your team to play, obviously. But yeah, I think looking at the next picks and bans and judging it off of this one, I do like that Behrend immediately got rid of that Bucky. We've seen Farthy on it the first week. Quite a few Kraken impacts there. I don't know if they're gonna want to keep this Emma though. I think they might want to try and swap it out to a more defensive style. Maybe instead of that Magneto ban, they try and opt for this double shield and force this more defensive play style, or maybe they'll lean into it. Maybe they will ban the Strange, or they will ban the Emma, which will allow a little more freedom for the dive comp they're looking for.
Yeah, and we will have to see as we get into Spider Islands here for our second round. It is a convoy point. Going to have to push that payload throughout these streets here. I believe we have Baron Blue attacking first, but we will have to see here. Oh, actually, Baron Blue defending first as they get into these picks and bans.
Yeah, I think that's going to leave OSU on this first ban, though. Interested to see what they're going to opt for. I believe last time it was Behrend that had this first pick advantage. They're getting rid of that Star-Lord. I think that was similar to what we saw last time from them as well. Usually, this is something we like to see when a team's doing well. They're just sticking to their guns. And even better than that, not really banning what the other team's running off of. The ideal play is just banning what your team comp has troubles with and what it struggles against, and really forcing the other team to play into you, not having to adapt your strategy to the other team. That's the ideal play, but doesn't always work out. I think for the first time ever, we are going to see this Jeff save on the side of Behrend. I don't think they were expecting the ban of it last time, but I mean, hey, it did get his ultimate did get a pretty nice buff. Chance we see a storm ban from OSU just because of it. I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah, like you're saying, this might be the first time we've seen that Jeff priority save here. The first save slot you're getting, going with that Jeff pick. Like you said, it might have been a target ban last time. OSU did ban that out in the second ban. So now instead they are going to opt for that Storm, say, all right, you can get Jeff, but you're not going to get the team up. You're not going to get the Jeff NATO. We are going to disable that, as well as Baron Blue disabling Farthy's Wolverine, noticing that was a extreme problem on the first round there, and just not wanting any part of it.
Exactly. Now opting for the Psylocke as well. I mean, that was another thing OSU banned last time, I believe. And which makes me think maybe OSU is doing just a little bit of stat tracking here, which is completely in
Some
the rules.
homework.
Yeah, doing their homework before the game. Very important. Reserving this Punisher as well, knowing that they're gonna, like Farthy, their Wolverine, their Punisher, they're gonna want something to fall back to, though I know the man was on it last time. Getting rid of this Mantis as well, maybe trying to shut down any of the triple support ideas they were rocking with.
Yeah, really force them onto a team composition that maybe Baron Blue isn't as practiced or as comfortable on. But we will have to see what their team comp ends up being with the Magneto ban. I believe that was their last round. Still not wanting anything to do with it. We saw Soap potentially hovering a blade there, but yep, we know them as the well and true support player that they are. Now hovering on that Rocket Luna combination. Potentially Meaty Loferson going to dip into the Rocket Network team up with that Penny Parker as well.
I'm not gonna get too excited till they're out of spawn with it.
On attack,
But
yeah. You gotta wait a
but
minute.
I am
You gotta wait a
excited.
minute.
All
We're
right?
not sure.
I see. I like the penny pick as always. Right? I'm a penny one trick. All right. With a splash of thing in there, but penny maybe getting the armor packs, maybe getting the extra armor packs. But I mean they don't stack with rockets, so I don't know. I'm happy to see it. Penny can set up a pretty good defensive hold. So usually what you'd want to see is diving in the back and almost pinching them, not really forcing the other team, the forcing them to stay forward. They can't really back up into your setup, or you're just kind of acting as a big distraction, a big pain in the side where, hey, I'm setting up back here. I'm going to keep shooting you. Don't come touch me. But my hopes are going to be killed as we see Meter Loferson back on the Strange.
Yep, and just like that, no rocket network. We have no rocket, no penny. Back to the Cloak and Dagger. Back to the Doctor Strange. But we do have the addition of the Deep Wrath team up for OSU. That Hella and Namor new team up definitely enables Namor and Hella to be a bit deadlier, spawning those shadow turrets as soon as they get an assist on any elimination.
Yeah,
Could definitely prove to be pretty a good nuisance for the side of Behrend Blue here.
Yeah, it's a very nice snowball effect with that, and honestly, that was a team up I completely forgot about, and it looks like Behrend did as well as they find their first pick on that Master, still in this Captain America on the defense. Losing that strong contestable that early is very upsetting. As we see, I mean, on the side of Behrend, we do have this team up with the Psylocke as well. I was a little confused. I thought Psylocke jumped off the map, but it was the clone. But right now, we're just seeing Behrend fall back, not really able to find this ground yet. Captain America back up. Maybe that'll be the contest they need, but I still think Behrend's lacking this damage. I mean, they can get in there and can touch the point, but they're not going to be able to stay alive because they're not finding the picks. Battle Knight falls from the man. So we do see both ults from Behrend Blue come out.
It's Jeff was able to pick up the Luna Snow there. Going to be off the map with her. Emolga now up one pick. The Psionic Seduction comes out as well. Will clean up the man. And this might be Behrend Blue's fight to take now, as they are going to push up, finish these kills. Mr. H3 and GWT now getting a pick of their own, driving OSU all the way back to spawn. And if you're Behrend Blue, this is exactly the momentum that you need. This is the exact turn of tables that you want to see in the gameplay to help propel you through the rest of this time. Only 2 minutes left now, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, that momentum they got was off the back of a Jeff ultimate, so I'll eat my words here. The man finding a support early, though. Beautiful pick. Psylocke ult comes out as well. Answers from Blankets. Beautiful ultimate to stay alive. Lizard Breath finds Master. That's Behrend Blue down to Emolga, the only one with the ultimate. It's going to come out. It's going to find just the Emma. And it looks like the man is going to shut it down, not letting them go to that back line. Battle Knight coming around
Striking
the side
down
here.
to Jeff. And just,
That
yeah, OSU on top with those ultimates, able to find the picks, shut down the entire team of Behrend Blue. Psylocke able to get a quick last-second contest, but to no avail, as OSU will take this first point.
Yeah, very beautifully as well. I mean, they only really need to commit the Blankets ultimate, the Luna there at the very start, just to stay alive, not even during the point. And the man as well, the counter ultimate versus the Jeff was very cool to see. Interested to see now, how is Behrend going to try and adapt to this? They know that they're kind of slipping. They're still running this triple support. I'm not feeling too much synergy with it. I feel like they still need to opt for this more damage-oriented team comp. Just put more pressure on the team. I mean, I feel like I haven't seen the man get shot yet on the side of OSU. Marthy, though, definitely taking some of the pressure as they're just free-farming down this choke. But OSU's keeping this payload rolling.
Yeah, completely agree. We're seeing a lot of organized team play coming out of OSU here when they're holding back, deciding to go in on these picks. You can definitely see the ultimate economy is in OSU's favor right now. Rage of Ultron does come out from Battle Knight, high in the sky, soaked with the Eternal Bond to cancel it out. It's Jeff able to eat two, but gets flopped on by an even bigger fish. and Farthy able to clean up that kill, save his teammates, and now OSU's throwing the kitchen sink at them. I don't think there's anything left in the tank, but that will be a one fight.
Not too yet as Haza pops this Psylocke ultimate, not going to find much, and I think they're going to be very quick to follow. As... Oh, that's so tough seeing Lizard Breath picking Master off the map. Feels like Behrend is just... I mean, this feels like an overtime play of just throwing yourself at point. Like, if I'm Behrend, just regroup, you know? We have that Captain America ult to contest, but instead we're using it with none of the team there. And I think that's just going to be the second point for OSU. Not yet. Master's still looking for this contest, but isn't even going to get there. I mean, I'm really questioning this Captain America pick.
Definitely tough, especially with the comp that OSU is running to get much value out of this team comp that Behrend Blue is bringing right now. I think we might have to start seeing some swaps come out from the team. We definitely have the comfort picks on now with Emolga enabled on that Jeff. Haza does have that Psylocke, but it's just too much that OSU is able to do that Behrend Blue just isn't able to make any leeway here.
Yeah, sticking on this triple support, we do see the Adam Warlock pick now. Maybe that res will come in clutch at the very end if they can build it in time. But right now, you see the Emma ultimate come out, not really find anybody as they just get aggressive. Jeff ult comes out, finds a few members, but once again, Farthy just throwing the fish on top of him. Lizard Breath finding Haza. As we see Farthy just pushing in this backline, pressuring the supports with the help of blankets. The damage on this ultimate helps him find Master again. All the way back in spawn, Farthy getting greedy, but does not care. The Groot pick from GWT is actually beautiful, allowing for that shutoff. And here are these picks we're talking about. This Venom Groot, that's something I've been waiting to see.
We did just have a dance of the butterflies in the back for Haza, unable to find much. Fishy now walking down the lane with that Eternal Bond, trying to keep everyone up for Behrend Blue. The Psionic Seduction from Lizard Breath comes out. I don't think they were able to entrance any of them. And now we see Mr. with that Venom in the back, causing some disrupt. The heads are turned. Behrend Blue is able to take him down, run OSU off this point. And now really, with the time bank ticking down to just a minute here now, OSU's only going to have one strong push at this last point here.
Yeah, but OSU is not wasting any time making these required swaps. Farthy in the man, switching over immediately to the shield break comp dive. Just put some pressure on, try and get that Adam killed before they pop that ultimate. You see it immediately. Beautiful wall blocking off the Venom, though, as the man finds Master. That's one takedown. You see Battle Knight use this Karmic Revival, though, to get him back. That's going to promote the aggression. That's two eaten. No whale to throw on Jeff now, as that's going to be, I think, 2 kills. Yeah, Molga, better choice to just jump off. Both those characters have the recovery blankets, using this ultimate, keeping the remainder of OSU alive. 20 seconds left. If they don't secure this now, they're going to need an easy regroup. Quick one. So be able to keep OSU alive, as well as the man pops this final judgment. And that's going to be a lot of damage, just enough to kill both of Behrend's tanks. Gets the butterflies on point, though. Will it find something?
Oh, and it does. It picked up Soap there. Now down a support player. OSU is going to have to push this remaining 3 meters with only one support. A Psionic Seduction will come out as well. The Strangling Prison from GWT was there. It just won't be enough. OSU will finish this point. That is all 3 completed for OSU. That's exactly where you want to be sitting at. And now it's time for the side swap here. Behrend Blue about to take up the attack side. What do you think we're going to see? We're going to have to see different here.
I mean, I have no idea. We saw so many swaps there in the last minute. OSU didn't have any time left on the timer, but I mean, better late than never, you know. And I think that's just really something to emphasize from OSU. We saw some actually beautiful swaps from Behrend. I really like that Venom. That really leans into the dive that they really wanted with that Captain America, with I think the one difference of being able to get kills. You know, Captain America I think just you need the support from your team to make it happen. Venom, not so much. There's even just a little more wiggle room. But as well as that Groot swap, getting that division of OSU, putting up that line and just separating that support from Lizard Breath and Meaty Loaferson was very crucial, and we saw that a few times. So I liked Behrend's swaps. OSU immediately recognizes that, swaps to the Punisher to break those Groot walls. And, I mean, immediately, I think they were both kind of happy with how it went. I mean, that was the most we've seen Behrend contest OSU. It wouldn't really make too much sense to try and swap off it. I think OSU isn't too disappointed with their performance either. I think it's going to come down to just this first push, see, okay, this is working, this isn't, and make the swaps from there. But we're going to have to see it. Beautiful Groot walls off the start, though.
Yeah, I agree. The addition of this Groot into Behrend Blue's team comp, I think could do great work for them here. These walls already almost caught one. They did. Battle Knight going to be able to capitalize off of the man being out of position there. But GWT falls as Farthy blows open the door, pushes through with his Kung Fu master skills. Able to kick down the tree. Haza still in the back, gets spotted. Will have to get out of danger, but not before Lizard Breath is able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate death, but Haza doing what they're supposed to, just turning some heads. As long as Farthy is in their backline and not Behrend's, that's good. However, we see the Psionic Seduction come out, fighting for Farthy, picking up 3, 4, make it 5 with the help of Lizard Breath. Beautiful flank from Farthy, as well as an amazing ultimates from Lizard. That was phenomenal. What a way to clear a team. Only using the one ult, that's exactly what you want to see. However, a lot of other ultimates coming online now. Farthy still playing as aggressive as possible in the backline. The man falling low. As we see this G come out from Farthy, just kind of be a thorn in GWT's side, but he is a tree. He can take some.
He does take those. He will eat that living chi. Farthy will fall. Emolga with a huge 3 eat from the Itch Jeff. There it is. That's why we picked the Jeff. There's the huge ultimate. Able to run Lizard Breath off a little. Wait, we got the laser battle? Oh, Emolga, you do not win those. Lizard Breath unable to get out, however, as Master H3 is able to catch up and pick up that kill. We now have Behrend Blue taking to the streets. Gonna be able to get a good amount of way up this street here, this first point, before OSU is able to get back on. But there we see Haza falling critically early, trying to be a little bit too much of a nuisance in the back. As we see some swaps now from OSU.
Yeah, notably that Blade now coming out, already a 50% charge. That ultimate is going to be a game changer against these supports. Blanket's using this ultimate just for the aggression. Not really a counter in any way. I have Agamotto as well, just to add on to it. Karmic Revival, though, is going to find all of OSU, or all of Behrend, but I think it's going to be a quick fall again. OSU cleaning them up just a second time. Dishy and Emolga, the only ones left, looking to just get out, and it feels like that res from Battle Knight was simply nothing more than just a stall. Unfortunate is they're halfway through this first point, 60 seconds left on the clock. Some notable ultimates ready, but honestly, ultimate-wise, I'm leaning in favor of OSU. I'm really excited to see Farthy's 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, this is about to come through here. They have him up. There it is, into the back line now, hitting a bunch of the members. But we're seeing Behrend Blue on the opposing side find 3. 4, and the remaining 2 are in Jeff's belly. Emolga spat him out. That would be OSU cleaned up now, as Behrend Blue should be able to take this first point.
I think the benefit of these Groot walls as well is the body blocking. However, they're using it for the damage aspect. The portal will come out, but I don't think we'll get the contest. Yeah, smart cancel from Meaty there. Oh, and you're not really going to make that. Not going to be able to replicate what happened last week, at least. Different teams, but still very, very good clutch. Looking here now, second point, 2:20 on the clock. Let Farthy just getting a little too aggressive. You can't do that into the Groot. I mean, you have the man to behind you, but it takes a minute to break those walls down. And still, we just see the aggression. The Emma pick, though, beautiful kick off the map on the one, but they're able to recover. And yeah, Lizard Breath, I think, is really going to need to do what they can against this Groot, against the rest of this team, to just keep the damage up and keep the physical CC going on. Speaking of CC, have the ult.
See Fishy now with this Eternal Bond going into the back, trying to counter this final judgment from the man. You do see Emolga with its Jeff again, eat a few members. There they are off the map. I think Meaty Loferson is getting caught with that every single time. Jeff has a target. Farthy pushing a little bit into the back here, trying to find Haza, falling critically low, decides he has to back up instead. Now we're seeing OSU trying to start positioning well here, trying to group back up, but that's exactly when Master dives into the back, splashes your team, takes the kills for Behrend Blue, and now OSU has to back up even further, go back to spawn. A Dance of the Butterflies is just icing on the cake. Nothing but a stagger there. Great play from Behrend Blue and Haza there.
Yeah, I think Behrend is really doing a phenomenal job right now of showing what they've been trying to do these the past map, was just trying to get this aggressive dive, force OSU to be divided and fight their own battles, and that's the way to take OSU down, and Behrend recognizes that, and I think this new comp they have is exactly what they need, physically putting a wall between OSU's team, more so than metaphorically. Here we have a lot of ults though. OSU 30 seconds left, doing their best to hold this last point. That's the supports hit by Agamotto. Eye of Agamotto as well. Jeff ult comes down and finds another one. Emolga. These are some beautiful ults coming out. That's two of them. Both of OSU's DPS, and I think as they clean up Lizard Breath and Farthy, that's going to be this last cap. Or second to last cap. Second point. Overtime for Behrend. There we go. 1:30 on the clock for the last point, and Blankets, definition of a stagger here.
Incredible play there from Behrend Blue. I mean, we saw OSU drop 2 tank ultimates back to back there, tried to find their picks, and then I think it was Haza and Emolga just showed up to the fight, took a few picks of their own, and left OSU grasping at straws there. Incredible play from Behrend Blue. Now on to this third point here. We saw them give OSU a run for their money here, and I do think Behrend Blue is on quite the momentum off that second point. Soap does have to pop this Eternal Bond to stay alive. As they do pick up Battle Knight, GWT will fall as well, but not before Fishy commits their Eternal Bond.
That's very good to see. Farthy committing this as well. Beautiful res from Battle Knight with the support ultimates to hold it. However, OSU committing 4 of these. I have Agamotto, Living Chi, Final Judgment, and the Luna ultimate. Emolga, though, still picking up 2, dying in the process for it, though. Unfortunately, GWT falls to Blankets, though, and it's looking like OSU is able to make this hold. 16 seconds left for Behrend. They need to regroup and hold this. They have the Masters. They have Masters ultimate to make the contest. They don't need to get too hasty. OSU, no ultimates left, but that's a beautiful pick onto Emolga, arguably Behrend's MVP right now. No ultimates either side. Master, only one Behrend has. Not too significant. Trying to pop it on the supports. Finds Blankets, but that's not enough to kill, as Master will fall. Followed by Emolga soon. Staying alive, but no one here to contest in the overtime, and that's going to be map 2 for OSU in a very beautiful hold. Behrend looking alive, though.
Absolutely showing a lot more signs of life on that second round there on our second map. We can see absolutely why that Jeff was banned out. Emolga showing some hero proficiency on the Jeff there. Great plays, as well as the Psylocke. I mean, that's not to discredit the rest of the members from Behrend Blue. We saw night and day switches from the first map there, and they looked like a completely different team here. Incredible work. They gave OSU a run for their money, almost was able to cap that third point, and then we would have been going over to an overtime there. I think what they need is to just lock in a little bit sooner there. We really saw it come through on their attack side there. I do think that this third map could end up going Baron Blue way if they just get the right picks again in this pick and ban phase.
I mean, it's their map now. Pick still again. They could go back to domination. Maybe they could do another not convoy, but they could do the hybrid mode as well. Maybe we could see a Clintar, for example. But I'm
Hmm.
interested to see. We're going to T'Challa actually. Yeah, so we will be seeing that hybrid. No, sorry, domination. T'Challa Dom in favor for Behrend, and I don't know. I feel like when you're losing that attack defense mindset, when you're physically being put in just kind of swapping back and forth, whoever is winning the fight, we see Baron do better in this aggressive attack format, and that's it's kind of hard because it's good because when they're pushing that point and they're getting aggressive, it's going to work. They're going to need to continue that. They can't let OSU fall on a point and play the defense. You know, they're going to need to stick to their guns, play aggressive. When it comes to the picks and bans, though, I mean, yeah, like you said, SVP for Baron was Emolga. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Jeff ban from OSU. I know their first ban each time has been the Star Lord, but I don't know. Maybe OSU says maybe a Star Lord won't be that bad. You know, we trust the man to hit a few shots. So we'll I don't know. We'll have to see.
No, I do completely agree. I think Amoga has maybe struck a little bit of fear into OSU's hearts with those Jeff ultimates. I know Meaty Loferson was getting caught out more often than not with those things. And I mean, it's a big AoE. It's not the easiest to dodge sometimes if Jeff is able to catch you off guard. And we saw a consistent 2-3 man eats there, and that just swings a team fight in your favor. Like, granted, you do fall as a support while you are eating the opposing team members, but depending on who you can grab, I mean, it's just a completely different team fight. And we saw Baron Blue able to swing some of those team fights their way off of Emolga eating a tank, a DPS, 2 DPS. I mean, give or take whatever it was. And I don't know. I think a Jeff first ban might come through here for the side of OSU.
Yeah, I think that typically how we see OSU play is very team oriented. You know, they're almost always
Hmm.
grouped together. Maybe like one member playing flank. You know, pretty safe though when they do. This map, or especially this second point, second half, just felt like an all-out brawl the entire time. Like I couldn't
Hmm.
tell. You wouldn't be able to know whose backline was whose. You know, and I think that's exactly what Baron was looking for. I mean, the triple dive comp that they're able to run with that Jeff is really what makes that happen. They're able to get that damage. Like, I mean, running. I think first point they had what they had the Captain America and a who was the DPS they were running?
It was at Baron.
Yeah, Baron.
They had the Psylocke on lock there.
Yeah, I mean the Captain America and the Psylocke, and we said, you know, maybe you need a little more damage, and we see that shift here, and I mean they're looking a lot better. So I think Barons really found their bread and butter. They just need to really lean into it more. Maybe get OSU off a few of these picks that are really helping them out.
I agree, and we will have to see now what the ban phase looks like. We did see Baron Blue consistently taking that Bucky away from Farthy, which I think if you're Baron Blue, you want to keep going for. You don't want to let that man get the Winter Soldier. It will be a completely different game. We have seen it time and time again. And there it is. The Land Shark taking Prio #1, getting banned out first from the side of OSU here, saying no thank you, Emolga.
Yeah, again, not really a surprise. Um, Molga just very strong. However, that's going to leave the opportunity for Baron to immediately reserve this Star Lord. OSU once again did their homework. Not sure who on Baron is that Star Lord player. If I had to guess, probably Fishy. I'm not too sure. Maybe Haza, but Haza is in that dive category. OSU though says, okay, we've been banning the Star Lord. You've been banning the Magneto. We are going to reserve it this time. Media Loverson looking to reserve that, getting rid of the Emma as well. I believe they're probably going to either be looking for this double shield or, I don't know, we've seen Lizard be hovering this Angela. That makes me a little excited.
Yeah, and with this Star-Lord save, now banning Namor, you're really enabling this aerial superiority that Star-Lord brings to the table with the flips, the flying around. He could rain down a lot of bullets on your team and potentially flyers if OSU is looking to run any. Now we have this Mantis save, which in my eyes almost kind of confirms that they are looking towards a triple support with the Star-Lord as their DPS. So for OSU, I would just, I mean, obviously you save what you're comfortable with, and that's going to be the Bucky. I didn't even realize. Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Oh, this
Unbelievable. We were just talking about it.
When Bucky gets
Farley
through,
now going to be enabled.
Yeah, when Bucky gets through, you know it's going to be an exciting game because when it's there, both teams have to play it. You know, you can't just let one side run it. But I don't know, Behrend might not really fit into their dive comp, but I don't know. Looking at their comp, seeing this Mantis pick, I'm kind of maybe expecting the team up with Groot. Maybe they're leaning more into that. They know the Groot worked well. I'm not going to say too much till it's confirmed, but we do see some familiar picks, Blankets and Soap, on their go-to supports. Not going to comment on that tank pick till I know it's true, but we do see Lizard on this Strange. I believe it was Meaty for most of the time on the Strange, though. And very foreign pick for Farthy.
So far it is. We do have that triple support now for the side of Behrend with this Mantis. I think I do like this team a lot more than what they were running with the Ultron. Even though that they're, putting the Captain America back into this team comp, the lineup, I think Behrend Blue has an infinitely better team with the Luna, the Cloak and Dagger, and the Mantis. But we will have to see what the final pick is here. Right now we just have some random swaps going in.
Game canceled. OSU Farthy just hovered Daredevil. That's a not allowed character.
Ooh, yep, not allowed till next week.
From OSU. Good game.
Can we get his Marvel Rivals account banned?
Yeah, can we get this his social security number, please? All jokes.
Lock him up under the jail.
Yeah, and Meaty just wants to mess with me as they swap over to this Magneto now. And OSU, this looks like a pretty standard OSU comp. For Behrend, though, back to this Captain America, not something I'm too excited to see, but I would be happy if they did make it work here. Haza still on this dive. I think with the help of a Mulga, that's going to be really powerful, though. Having that double backline is really what Behrend was missing.
I believe so, and as this point has unlocked, we're seeing OSU take some fire in their backline, but it's nothing that they can't control. Haza forced to get out, which needs some pressure now put on the man. Now made his way to point with the rest of OSU. They're looking to find these picks. They did have that rocket jump from spawn. Saved up, and now the picks are coming through for OSU. And with 2 down, that might be all they need to spill into the back line here, pick up a few more kills. The point is theirs. Anytime now is just good for them.
Funny button. Oh, and it misses. Okay. I was getting a little excited, as I know Farthy was as well. With low ceilings like that, you're getting a little too aggressive. That was a warning shot. You know, it was telling Behrend what's to come.
That was the flare in the sky.
Yeah, more like the ground right there. But Behrend's looking pretty good ultimate-wise. I mean, getting a Mulga to go around here with this Galactic Legend is going to be crazy good. Especially just in this comp that OS2 is running. They do have the double shield, but I mean, it can only last so long. But I think with the way Behrend's playing, DPS are going in the back, that's just kind of freeing up OSU to push down this choke and punish the the tanks that are just kind of left here, as well as the supports. When Behrend's DPS are just too busy in that back line, not really making the moves, not really turning heads yet, it's just free space for OSU.
Yeah, and we did just see there, we haven't talked about him too much, blankets the support player for OSU, finding a couple picks there. Now gonna back up is the team of OSU as Behrend Blue does push through with the Luna, and now the Cloak and Dagger. They are using two of these support ults near back to back, and Soap gonna look to cancel it out with their own. The man will strike down Emolga, and as OSU responds with a few ultimates of their own, it looks like the point will not swing.
Not just yet. Overtime now. And it's looking rough for Behrend as it, I believe, only Haza is left. And nobody's going to be there for the contest. I mean, we saw Molga swap it with the Squirrel Girl, maybe just to get that group damage. But that's first point to OSU, pretty uncontested. It felt like the problem that Behrend had was just like I said, where, you know, when they were fighting on point, it was looking pretty good. Before the cap went down, we had the DPS in the back causing a good disruption, but as soon as they kind of pushed up, OSU pushed up and punished the supports, that left Behrend's lifeline cut off, and they fell pretty quick after. And from there, I think that just kind of continued, where the DPS would go in the back line, don't really have a clear line of sight to help the supports, not putting just enough pressure on OSU, which just allows OSU to play more together. That we're seeing exactly how OSU plays typically, of just really grouped up, really well put together, and not as divided and scattered as Behrend wants them.
Now getting into our second round here. We didn't see too many swaps. Emolga now going to be on the Squirrel Girl. Master H3 going to the Rocket. And we still have this triple support. Still has not gotten off it, but we have swapped the members now. I think with these three supports here, you have a ton of healing potential, as well as that Rocket BRB beacon to res one teammate within its vicinity. I think this could be the swap that Behrend Blue was looking for, as Lizard Breath will pick up Fishy. They should be able to get a respawn. No, it doesn't look like the BRB was set down in time. Fishy will stay dead, as OSU now on this point with better health standing than Behrend Blue is. But that's not for long, as GWT is able to take a pick, but OSU does start the cap.
Seeing Behrend now on no dive characters, playing this entirely tank brawl type build with the help of the Squirrel Girl is exactly what we're seeing from OSU as well. The only difference is OSU not running that triple support is going to have the stronger damage. And I think as long as the band and Farthy can get these picks, it's still going to leave OSU in the advantage. But like you were saying, I like Behrend swaps. I think that's definitely what they need. And I mean, right there, we can see it. They're the ones in control at this point. They're the ones that have this objective here. Just saw a few great picks from Behrend as well onto the supports of OSU. Although OSU pushing up now, finding GWT, crack an impact, not going to make an impact on anybody. I will come out, find nobody. Beautiful shield from, I believe it was Medialofer, but we will see Haza get rezzed on point, and now it's going to be an all-out brawl as Goddess of Death ready to go. We'll see Battle Knight come out as well as Emolga's Squirrel Horde. Blankets pops in answer. Farthy does fall. Eye of Agamotto comes out, finds two, and that's going to be Master out with the Rocket Bolt down.
Meteor M goes high, unable to hit Fishy though. Soap now with an Eternal Bond of their own, a Meteor M of their own, and Behrend Blue does it better. Into the sky now is the man, getting postered by this strange Abo Haza, not able to let this Hella free farm their line, but they will take one with them as it goes down, and that will be all OSU needs. A few more picks, and that point will swing back. Behrend Blue was in the lead at 75% there. What a great hold from them.
Yeah, beautiful final shot from the man there as well to pick up. I think it was a support as well as Farthy. I mean, I feel like this player has a tool belt 20 characters wide of DPS they can swap to. They said, oh, okay, no more dive. You're running tanks. I can handle tanks. You know, back on this Wolverine, ready to pop this Maroon 5 here. As it comes out, teams all put together, and that's a triple! Make it 4, and that's a team wipe from the side of OSU. OSU with the help of Farthy, just showing no matter what Behrend is able to pull out, they have an answer.
Yeah, no matter what you got on Behrend, OSU has a Farthy, and he is hungry, looking for more in this forward position. Going for the grab. Oh, didn't get anything that time. Empty-handed. OSU will back up just a little bit now. Behrend Blue taking this high ground. Gonna start meeting OSU here. We do see the swap to Wolverine from Emolga as well. Deciding this might be the best way to take care of the double shields is to just hit them through it, rip them apart.
Oh my gosh!
As we're seeing Abo Haza get canceled. Oh, what a play there. Ultimates come down across the field now, as neither team's looking to die.
And will come out not fine. Blankets still going around in the ultimate. No picks yet. Fishy able to get this contest. That's 2 beautiful picks from the tanks on Behrend. Flipping the point at 97%. Back over to Behrend, 80%. Buckeye Gaming Collective here showing a few cracks. Looking a little rough, but they still have this Eye of Agamotto and no portal used yet. Oh, where's the team? You can see it here as it's kind of kicking into Behrend. They're going to go on point. Eye of Agamotto ready from both sides, which will be bigger. Lizard Breath's frozen on point. Honestly, Death will come out from the man, and that will find Battle Knight. Using both of your support from Behrend. The man finding 3. I think that's just going to be OSU cleaning up. GWT is here for the contest, but I don't think we're going to see enough, and that's going to be OSU taking this third map beautifully with a phenomenal portal, beautiful Goddess of Death, winning this match 3-0.
Yeah, that last point there, the last couple of minutes was just absolute cinema there. We saw Farthy showing off on the Wolverine. We saw some crazy ultimates at that last fight there. But in the end, when it's all said and done, OSU will walk away with the win here tonight over Behrend Blue. It was a very good game from both teams. We really saw Behrend start to come alive in that last map there. It was just unfortunate that it took a little too long for the steam to get going for them. But once we saw it start to come online, they were some formidable foes there for OSU. GG's to both teams here. I mean, what do you got to say for the match, Althea?
Yeah, I mean, those are all very exciting. It's always nice seeing a team kind of maybe having a little trouble and seeing them able to have that comeback throughout the course of the game. And I think Behrend did a phenomenal job of making the adaptations. I loved how often they were making some of these swaps, as well as the characters they were swapping to. I think the problem wasn't them. It was the fact that OSU, like you said, they just have a Farthy. You know, they have that answer wherever you need it. You can't ban every DPS, you know? And like, oh, they ban Wolverine, they ban Punisher, they ban Bucky. We'll just go the hella Namor, you know? Like, OSU is just very flexible in how they play their team comp, and even when they do start to crack and even when they do start to fall, they're able to just regroup, recognize what's wrong, and adapt to it. And I think that's why we see OSU do so well in these games. On the side of Behrend, though, again, I think their adaptability is very good as well, able to recognize when they need to make those changes. I just think that sometimes it's just tough when you can't stop all of the answers.
Yeah, I completely agree. It just seemed like no matter what Behrend Blue was trying to swap to, OSU was just already ready with a counter swap. Farley was sent back to spawn, immediately looking at the hero selection screen, going, okay, they bring out this. Let's see, I could dabble in this. I could probably pull out that. And in the end, they are able to walk away with the victory. We have to say GG's to both teams here. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It has been a great stream once again. Be sure to tune in to the rest of the ECAC streams throughout the week. We will catch you guys back here next week for more Marvel Rivals action. Do you have anything else to say for the rest of the night, Althea?
No, that's it. But other than that, thank you all for coming, and thanks for showing up. Thank you to you Inferno and Observer Beldia. Thank you to the ECAC. as well as the teams, and of course you, the viewers. Be sure to come back next week. But other than that, have a good night, everybody.